Welcome, everybody, to today's artificial intelligence for finance and related areas. Our main message is it's not as difficult as it sounds. Now, the materials I'll be taking you through today come from a book written by myself, Maurice Flynn, and a couple of my siblings. We're part of a charitable foundation that aims to promote AI research, development, and learning for the general good, and we're currently funded by our own company, Open Doors. If anyone would like a copy of the book, you're welcome to send me a message on social media, quite easy to find, and I'm happy to share complimentary copies. My background is I started to study the maths that underpins today's AI back at university during my engineering course. And since then, I've worked with many companies, helping them go through digital and data transformation processes. I've advised some of the biggest companies and the most advanced companies in the world, and also lots of small companies, startups who are often struggling with the basics. My siblings come from a mixture of writing and science backgrounds, and they've been huge help creating a lot of this content and translating it to different languages. We've had great feedback on this information from many top companies and top executives at those companies, and also smaller companies as well. And the main message seems to be that there's a real need for clearer, simpler direction, advice, tools in this area, because most of us don't have the technical skills nor the time to cope with yet another set of complicated tools. And that's what this book, our websites, our blogs, the videos we put together are all aimed to do. In terms of content today, the 30-minute session, break down into 3 sections. First section is about today's AI, a general overview, what it is, why is it exciting, how does it work, and then talking about some of the hot topics of today. What is ethical AI? Do I need AI? What are the challenges that we'll face? What is it really good for? And then our conclusions, having worked on many projects in this and related areas. We'll then look at a selection of case studies. We've got quite a few to choose from. And in this session, we'll focus on the ones most relevant for a finance and related audience. Then the third and final section, we'll look at what we call success factors. And by this we mean the things that we have learned from other AI experts that help ensure that projects in this space are more likely to succeed than fail, that increase the probability of success. And we'll list those success factors and we'll try to bring it to life with more examples, case studies, and also recommended tools and training courses. If you do request a copy of the book, you'll also see in the appendices there's rich information about the different tool sets that are currently available out there. Many have launched in the last few years, and we try and give a positive overview of the strengths and any of the weaknesses of some of those. We also review AI training courses and give some recommendations on those. And then we also look at some complementary areas such as data compliance and various communication digital channels. Okay, so back to today and the first section. Very quick and simple overview of AI just to bring us all up to speed. So, what is today's AI? Well, in general, artificial intelligence today means software and machines that demonstrate equal or better than human effectiveness, plus learning in complex challenges. And there are two types of AI that we generally discuss today. So called narrow AI addresses single issues, single challenges. This extends today from rich data analysis, for example, for vision tools, to content creation, even. General AI is more adaptable, like human intelligence, but the expert consensus is that we're still a long way from that, from general AI. So, why is AI creating so much excitement? Well, around 2012, an approach called deep learning was shown to enable rapid improvement in areas from computer vision and subsequently audio and text analysis, and now even content creation. And this caused a lot of excitement and also a little bit of fear in some quarters. The issue with deep learning is its effectiveness can be very high, but also is sometimes difficult to fully explain. And for that reason, it requires a little bit of manual fiddling to get to work. A related approach or a bigger subset of approaches is called machine learning, which is much better understood in the main, using techniques that have been mainstream for much, much longer, and therefore has been much more widely adopted. So, how does AI work fundamentally? Well, today's AI is a combination of old maths, very old maths in some cases, with new and even cheaper computing power. And it works via many types of computer languages. In essence, the process involves finding patterns in historical data or content. These patterns can then predict future events, can understand images, and now can even create content. What's ethical AI? This is a very hot topic of the moment. We basically need to make sure that we don't bake any bias into these systems. Of course, at the same time, the processes we use currently in the world are far from unbiased. The AI solution to this involves ensuring the data used is representative and used fairly, in line with any risks and with a people first mindset. New privacy laws like GDPR can both help and hinder this in different areas. So, the AI ethics questions we should be considering are: is this a high risk area needing extra care, for example, healthcare? Are we improving a biased system? Do we use data that is fair and representative? Are we aiming for some public good or solely private gain? The answers help guide us as to how fast we should go. So, do I need AI? Do you need AI? Well, let's look to the near future. Experts agree AI will reach everywhere there is software. As a result, we'll almost all need retraining, plus need to battle AI misuse. Yet the potential benefits are huge. Here's a simple checklist that we use ourselves. Do you or do I have to make any important decisions based on gut feel? Do you or do I sometimes fail to use customer data to continually improve what we're doing? Do you have competition that's more savvy with data? If you've answered yes at all to these questions, you do probably need to read on and listen on. So, what are today's AI challenges? Well, one issue that slows AI projects down is confusion about expertise needed. Too many experts in this space seem to love the jargon that makes this topic harder to understand. We personally have studied numerous AI case studies, tools, trainings, and projects, and we calculate that 99% of the world's population need a simpler approach in order to make AI accessible for all. 99% of the population don't have the technical or data knowledge to use many of these, if not all of these existing tools and solutions. Based on hundreds of case studies, research, and our own hands-on work, the top ethical opportunity we see is in enhancing our limited human expert resources via big data analysis and prediction, as well as content processing and creation. The most excitement at the moment is probably in the following areas. Firstly, automation, such as administrative functions, search, customer service, retail, logistics. Secondly, around predictions, such as financial, HR, medical, security, marketing and sales. And thirdly, around creation of content, such as visual content, oral content, and text. So, in conclusion, most experts conclude that AI can definitely be a force for good by putting expert capabilities in the hands of many more billions of people than ever before. Now, let's look at some case studies showing how companies are actively doing that today. And as I say, we're going to skip through and focus on the case studies that are most relevant for financial and related audiences. Here's a fun one to start. Robot artist Ida creates £1 million art from what it sees. In this example, a robot has been built which uses today's AI software to see the world around it and represent what it sees in paintings, which are sold for over 1 million today. Is it art? Well, the debate rages. In this retail and marketing example, Peter Glenn, a big outdoors goods chain, has unleashed AI on their customer database, data analysis using AI software and hardware, and discovered that over 80% of people hadn't visited their website or their stores in years. They re engaged customers based on needs, likes, and locations data they had, and as a result, they boosted their average order value by 30%. And with all of these case studies, you can see a link to the source information. And again, do request my book if you'd like a complimentary copy. We probably all know that Amazon uses AI and an engine to customize its recommendations, which customers receive both on site while shopping and by email. It's a measure of this success that this system delivers around 30% of Amazon sales now in total. And this is even before the Alexa speakers stop bullying you into getting that latest surround sound musical system. So incredible numbers. This is one I've been personally involved in retail and sports. So here, some sports and retail brands were looking for new opportunities in historic customer data. AI data analysis showed that many of their long held assumptions were incorrect. The changes were able to make using analysis from AI software and hardware, quite quickly delivered double-digit growth that surprised us all. In this example from HR and recruitment world, PwC, L'Oreal and Unilever all wanted to find new and better ways to help their teams recruit the best talent. So an AI enhanced tool asked a series of questions to employees and candidates, and by analyzing profiles of successful employees, they're able to create a success model for recruitment as well as quantify its effectiveness in supporting HR. And all of those involved in recruitment recognize how much we need this kind of help. Logistics now and operations. So Alibaba, many of you will know, is the Amazon, so-called Amazon of China, and they use AI to find the quickest and cheapest routes for delivering products worldwide. The result, 10% less vehicle use and 30% less distance covered, with over 100 million packages being processed per day, plans for 1 billion or more in future. That adds up to a chunk of change. From the banking world, RBS utilizes AI to bring a more personal touch back to banking. Customers who contact the bank on their birthday may get a happy birthday from the bank. Customers paying twice for insurance can be informed of those types of errors. So if someone calls for your next birthday, it could well be your bank manager. From the energy sector, Shell's exploratory drills cost big money and they are inevitably hit and miss. Therefore, they decided to take 1,000 readings traditionally and instead start taking 1 million and more data points and pass that data through AI system for analysis. They used a solution or part of a solution called Hadoop, which analyzed huge amount of data, and as a result, in that case, they significantly improved their success rate at significantly lower cost. Many of you may be aware of Milton Keynes on the edge of London in the UK. It's a new town and is very popular, overpopulated in some areas. So, using AI sensors, they can check that bins are emptied on time when full, that street lights are turned off where no footfall is discovered, and traffic lights can be adjusted, making the town fitter and leaner than ever before. Most importantly, all software is so-called open source, which can greatly reduce costs. So, in conclusion, based on these case studies, we can see that the use of AI already stretches from proven to experimental. So it makes sense that companies adopt a similar approach, i.e., investment in relevant proven use cases plus trial and testing for the more experimental areas. So in the final sector, we're going to whip through some success factors that we've built and identified over time working on these projects. So, as I say, these are success factors that we've identified as being essential for reducing failure in AI projects and improving chances of success based on our own experience and many other experts whose work is available in the public domain. Success factor number one, have simple aims. For many companies, we find too much time is spent arguing about aims. Should we tackle A, B, or C? Then the data experts might disappear for a week or more and all too often come back saying the analysis can't be completed for a number of different reasons. This is clearly inefficient, so instead, we've found that it's better for the team together to dive into the data or content processing as early as possible and let the best opportunities identified guide the priorities. In the materials that support this session on our blog, on our website, in our book, we review the top AI toolsets that are available and commend many of these for use, though not always for newbies in the space. Google's Cloud Auto ML, Amazon SageMaker, Microsoft Automated ML on Azure are all great and often low-cost toolsets. We've also started to build our own toolset, often on the back of the great work of others provided through open source, in order to help more people access the power of these tools through a simple web interface. And you can see this on our websites. Second success factor is learning. As with all new staff, it's important to help train staff and help them train themselves from top to bottom. Senior staff need to understand what the AI techniques can do and not do. Users of the AI need to master data, tech, and related skills. Other staff need to understand the project aims. We believe the best way is to embed AI learn and play in the business. We have reviewed most of the top AI training and learning programs, and we share our insight in the websites and the blogs around this course and also the appendices to this book. Some of the courses we find very strong, and there's many out there now, which is great, include Coursera's AI courses, Google's Crash Course, and then multiple independent course providers via YouTube. We also provide our own learning experiences through this series of videos. Success factor 3 is data and content. This is where many AI projects shudder to a grinding halt. At best, the data or content needed is scattered around in multiple formats, systems, and silos. At worst, you don't know what you have or need. But here's the good news. There are shortcuts. Firstly, if someone has already built a similar AI model, you may be able to access and adapt and use it. If not, some of the newest tools allow you to build your own model quite quickly and without technical expertise. Thirdly, if you lack access to data internally, you can often find data online to use or scrape. After this, low-cost online teams can even tidy up that data for fast use. With the latest tools, this data can be numbers, text, images, even audio and video files. For example, if the question is, can we find the best people to target with a message? The answer could be yes, here we can use historic and latest customer or employee data to find best groups of people to target. If the question is, can we become more visible for our brand strengths? The answer can be yes, by analyzing marketing data for effectiveness and creating more of the best content. If the question is, can we improve our business communications? The answer can be yes, by analyzing our communications and customer services data. Gathering the data internally is usually an ad hoc process because data and content is often scattered across systems and in different formats. But that's okay, as the newest AI tools are designed to ingest lots of different data types and transform them into a usable format. By the time you read this, we should be live with our list and review of free datasets online, which we can all access and use, and the related tools. And these can massively boost our speed to launch by saving time on data collation and cleaning. So see our websites for more info. Data can be uploaded into AI tools manually or machine to machine. So choosing the tools we use is success factor 4. These tools then turn the data into a format that can be analyzed and cycle through the data, taking it through layers of analysis, correlating the relationships between the data points, and each cycle of that analysis improves the results. The AI tools will tell us when the analysis is finished and test the calculations using data that's been set aside. This allows it to score its own work and tell us how good it is, how good the results are. We see which customers are likely to buy, which employees are best to be recruited and most likely to succeed, and which business content and communications works best. The prototype stage for AI projects covers train and test steps. This simply means we upload the data to our chosen system and ask it to find useful patterns, e.g., correlations of activities versus results, or content versus engagement, or marketing versus sales, and so on. Fortunately, the new AI tools are emerging that aim to make the process simpler for all, with little or no specialist expertise needed. And here's the tool revolution that we've seen. The first generation of tools we saw needed technical and data experts. The first commercial set from people like Google and Microsoft and Amazon over the last few years. Second generation tools needed only data expertise. And again, these came from the big companies, those three again, and also from smaller companies as well. Third generation of tools mostly need only general business expertise and a willingness to learn. Launched more recently, and these are things often called driverless AI, automated machine learning that almost anyone can learn to use. We always recommend the simplest to use, low cost, ideally free tools to get involved in the project without needing specialist tech or data know how. This allows the project stakeholders to get close to the data analysis as possible, minimizing delays. Here are some of the best known tools that often offer free trials as well. I mentioned Google Cloud AutoML, Amazon SageMaker, Microsoft's AutoML on Azure, and we have a bigger list on our blogs and website. We also provide our own tools, often built on the backs of the open source tools that we also offer free of charge. Using the tools, we now consider the project results and see if they could be more widely useful. If yes, we may decide to use this new system on a regular basis, make it available to more people. To permit this, it needs a reliable, easy to use system and be updated regularly. At rollout stage, we decide how much resources are worth investing in this approach. If the system improves on our guesswork by 50% in a low risk area, then it sounds interesting, for example. In a higher risk area, much more testing and benchmarking would be logical. A recent change is the emergence of tools that allow you to learn and scale up all on one platform rather than doing it in two stages, which can cause delays. Sophisticated players may need to connect the AI system to an app or another digital experience to drive that in real time, which is often done through a type of connection gateway called an API. For many businesses, in our experience, what's more useful is a zero code and no code self updating toolset where marketeers and colleagues and financial departments can play with data and content to find these new and useful business patterns and correlations. One of the issues with most of the tool sets we've mentioned here is that although they've done a great job in removing technical requirements, i.e., no code, most still do require a fair bit of data science confidence. As I say, we've reviewed the tool sets in order to highlight the strengths and weaknesses of each, including our own. So, in summary of our AI conclusions, we recommend quickly agree with project stakeholders areas possibly worth exploring. Secondly, gather data or content that's easily available and start with that. Thirdly, start with AI tools that don't require specialist knowledge so everyone is involved and fast. Keep playing and learning and celebrating success. So we'll wrap up there to allow time for Q&A. We'll play a few more examples for those that have got time, but otherwise, thank you for